folks, this is Pit Boss again with a review on some everyday carry knives. I've been getting some questions lately about what I carry on a regular basis, what I suggest carrying. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm a collector, an amateur collector. I'm not a blade maker. I don't really know about different grades of steel and things like that. But these are a couple knives that I do support and I do carry on a regular basis. When I was going over in my head what I carried on a regular basis, I usually have two knives at any given time, or a knife and an impact alternative. So when you're looking at an everyday carry option, there's a few things to keep in mind. You know, the potential about being stopped by law enforcement and saying, well, what's this for? Is this a weapon? Never say it's a weapon. It always has to have a legitimate tool use. One knife that's on me at any given time is the Spyderco Cricket. It's got, I guess, the reverse S-shaped blade here. This one is the serrated version. This type is no longer on the market. I guess they've got only the ones with the stainless steel still being released, a lot like this bird here. The Cricket I like a lot. It's very unimposing. It's very tiny, disclosed. It doesn't look like anything. People wouldn't even take that off of you walking into a nightclub or a concert or anything like that. But you open it up and you can see some potential there. Again, I use this for cutting tape, boxes, all that jazz. But this is my money clip at any given time. I could put a few bucks in there and carry that on me, and it's a legitimate use just right there. I don't even need to explain why it's a blade. No, it's my money clip. I use it as that. Spyderco, actually, this is a Spyderco blade. Spyderco markets these as money or tie clips. So that's something to consider when you're thinking about what to carry on a regular basis. Secondary, one I carried for a fairly long time. I like this blade a lot. It's like low medium range. I think it's about $60–70 wherever you get it. Same with these little crickets. Is the Spyderco Tenacious. You're gonna notice I like interesting blade styles. The Tenacious here. This is the Spyderco serrated version, right? The Spyderco they're pretty much well known for the serrated blades, a very specific style of serrations. And as you notice, this will take a very specific sharpening tools to do this. I haven't sharpened these yet. I've taken them in to get sharpened, but I haven't really had to do it yet. I'm thinking about getting my own equipment, but yeah, I'm gonna need to learn a little bit more before I go jumping on trying to sharpen up my serrated blades. Now the Tenacious has a G10 laminate. I really like this style of blade a lot. A little bit more than these ones. I'm not even sure what those are called, or the stainless steel. I really like this G10 though. It's got the leaf-shaped blade, kind of like a mini barong or something. And the four-way pocket clip's another good thing. This clip can be switched out if you have a set of torque wrenches. So it could be a drop tip carry, or you could do it to a left-hand carry, which is nice too. The liner lock as well. This is a liner lock. They're nice. It's really slim. It's a legitimate size for a self-defense option, and obviously it's not an intimidating tool for everyday use. Just yesterday, though, I'm pretty stoked on this. I went down to my local knife store, and I found, because I've been looking for the bird crossbills. They're an affordable alternative to the crappy Hawkbill that I showed you, the Spyderco Hawkbill, and these guys are really well made. I'm really surprised. It's like $35 knife. They're made in China. It's kind of like the lower end Spyderco manufacturer, and you can tell they're birds, right? Spyderco have the little circle there. That's pretty much their patented kind of deal. The comet shaped hole here, that's a bird knife. They're the same kind of standards of manufacture as Spyderco, but they're made in China, and I think, you know, the mass marketing and all that, or excuse me, the mass manufacture probably cuts down cost, manufacturing costs. This is a really nice little knife. I could easily carry this every day. The blade is a little bit intimidating. Again, it's got that Hawkbill blade, but I really like this knife. You'll notice I have the little zip tie here. My interpretation of the Emerson Wave quick release system. You put that in your pocket and it's a quick draw system. I know in New York State they've banned this, or maybe just New York City. They've banned this quick draw, and a lot of people consider it low class. Well, that's me, so be it. I'm not really going to judge. Now, over the years, I've carried a number of different everyday carry blades. The one that I've had for about 4 years that I use an awful lot. I really prefer the Spydercos, but I've had the cold steel Hombre, and I love cold steel stuff. They generally care about what they're making, quality-wise. I love this Hombre a lot. Actually, a couple issues with this blade is that one is the slim handle. You know, it's got the gnarls here and stuff, and that's kind of an interesting. I'm not sure if you can get that. It's kind of the S-shaped gnarls, and the serrations are very, very fine. But the one issue that I had with this is if you're ever doing any kind of thrusting kind of applications for whatever, hay bales or perforating dog food bags, you really might want to consider getting a lanyard here, because last thing you want, and I've had this happen when training on tires and stuff, is my hands sliding up the blade, and without a tang or without any like real substantial grip on something like this, that's a real option. That's a real danger with these. So a lanyard here, if you attach a lanyard there, this will prevent your hand from sliding up onto the blade if you're ever to do any thrusting stuff. The other option with the lanyard, you'll notice this has the drop tip clip there, hangs in your pocket. You reach in, it's got right on left side open, pang, right? You pull that out of your pocket and it's open. The other thing about a lanyard is that you can actually deploy the lanyard and pull it out like that. Unfortunately, you can't do the poor man's Emerson wave there, but I really like this Hombre. If you look at it too, as you're pointing, the tip point is in a direct line. So as a thrusting tool, this is right up the alley. It's right in the proper position for all that pressure going directly onto the point. I like this knife so much that actually at Water and Steel in 2007 with Datu Kelly Warden, I got a guy to make me a custom Kydex sheath for it. So this is actually, yeah, you can deploy this. This sits in the back of the pants. You could deploy it directly like that. That's how much I like the cold steel Hombre. They do have a larger version of this, but I almost consider it a little too much, you know. Even this by itself is a little, it's slim in your pocket, not too thick, you know, but it's a little much to pull out in front of Grandma and say, hey Grandma, here, I'll cut up that package that you want opened of whatever. And they're like, oh really, you're carrying something like that. At the same Water and Steel camp, I was lucky enough that Datu Warden gave me a copy of his Timberline, Warden Timberline. I really like this knife. This is a bit big for me to carry on an everyday basis. I have carried it before, but I really, really like this blade. The grip is really taken into account fighting applications. It's got a nice little ball there to sit in the palm. It's kind of almost like a trigger here. It gets really thin. The gnarls there, half serrated. It's an affordable knife, you know. I think these are about 50 bucks. It's got a good weight to the blade. That's it, right? So it doesn't take a lot to open. I really like this Timberline, and you know, it's got some sentimental value because it was a gift and things. But yeah, even in reverse grip, if you look at this, that gnarl there on the pinky and these and the thumb, it's great for tactical grips. So the Warden Timberline, this is the larger version. I really like this blade. I won't really carry it on a day-to-day basis because it is a little big. It's a little more than a guy needs in his pocket, especially in the situation where you're going to a friend's house and, I don't know, you look shady or you're in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. They say, hey, can you answer a couple questions? You might be in the situation to explain why you're carrying a knife of this stature on you. Something else that I did carry for a long time, this is my first significant purchase, was a Kershaw Kenanya Spec bump. And for the exact same reason, I stopped carrying it because there's that element. It is an assisted blade. It's got this little ball lock at the back. I didn't want to run the risk of being stopped and saying, oh, okay, you're now carrying an assisted knife, or you're carrying a switchblade, because, you know, a lot of law enforcement, they're not really up on what is what with the weapons. They're just going to jump to the gun and, hey, you want to pay $3,000, $4,000 to defend yourself for carrying a legitimate tool, that's your option. But I'd rather avoid that hassle, so I just stopped carrying this, especially if it's $250, $270 knife. I don't want to get this taken away from me because some overzealous officer of the law decides that that should be a prohibited weapon. I didn't really want to all of a sudden end up being knifeless, especially with one of my more collectible ones. That was first run out of the first 500, or one of the first 500 production run from the Kenanya Spec bump. So, and it's a Kershaw, it's quality made. I just don't want to lose that, right? tools, you need to be able to explain why you're carrying whatever you're carrying, and you know, martial arts or self-defense tools are no different. I will recommend against, in any situation that you get into, ever admitting that you're carrying a tool as a self-defense option. Even if it's within your legal rights, it's a heck of a lot easier to defend yourself if you never admit that it's for self-defense. But when it boils down, I believe these are really nice options for somebody for a quality, medium, not a super cheapo, but then again, not like breaking the bank and you never want to lose it kind of knife. I want a knife that I can lose and I can replace, but it's quality enough that I don't have to worry about it like breaking down, cutting me open, liner locks popping, things like that, and an all-around use knife. You know, using this to cut packages open, or using this as a money clip, or whatever the case may be. So if you're thinking about everyday carry, take a look at the Spyderco line. The Spyderco website's really good. You get a bit of a history lesson on what they have and why they're doing it. And yeah, be smart about what you're carrying. Don't be stupid. You don't need to be looked at as the latest knife fighter on the block when you pull something out of your pocket and it's like obscenely huge or scary. I know some people dig that, but up here in Canada, that's an expensive, if not dangerous, proposition.